welcome to Untethered Yoga. I am Jordan Adams. I'm your instructor. And as we're going into Thanksgiving tomorrow, I thought it would be super appropriate and a lot of fun to do, of course, a heart opening, chest opening, kind of gratitude series. What that means is there will be a lot of back bends, there will be a lot of chest openers, and with that, I'm going to go over a little bit of anatomy to help keep you guys safe, especially those of you who are entering your second and your third trimesters in pregnancy, because there is a ton of kind of anatomical shifts that you're experiencing. So, to start off with some simple anatomy, when you're pregnant, especially when you, like I said, go into those second and third trimesters, your low back, the curvature here is called lordosis, and that starts to exaggerate. So what that means is this curve gets even deeper. To compensate for that, what we see is a lot of times your upper back or your thoracic spine curves out even more. There's a kyphosis there. So with that in mind, there's a couple things that we want to do when we come to back bending. The first thing is the back bend should really come from here, bending more into this upper back, rather than bending even more into the low back, because what you'll end up doing is you'll compress these joints here, sometimes even that SI joint. The other thing is you want to make sure that you're focusing on opening up these chest muscles, the pectoralis muscles, because as you do that, as you release those, you can kind of encourage this curve to come back to a little bit more of a neutral position. Another pointer I want to give you guys is as we are going into back bends, you really want to make sure, especially when later on in the class it'll be the camel pose, and I'll remind everyone when we get there, you want to make sure that you're going into the pose symmetrically, both left and right sides at the same time, at the same level, because what can happen is these joints right here are your SI joints, and this right here is your pubic bone. If you aren't entering these back bends in a symmetrical manner, then you're going to not necessarily slip this joint, but you'll put more strain on one side than the other. So you want to protect your joints, protect yourself. All right, so if you guys have any questions, I'm always available. You can always, post a question on the thread. You can always email me. It's either drjordanpc@gmail.com or at untetheredyogadc@gmail.com. So let's go ahead and get set up for the first pose. You're just going to kind of sink back into a child's pose. Have enough space between your knees so that when you drop your belly down, you're not compressing onto your thighs, but you're actually making space to kind of melt forward and settle into the pose and just arrive wherever you're at today. And so as you find this gentle, relaxed child, just give yourself permission to arrive. Arriving into a state of gratitude. Giving thanks for this moment. And as you settle in, just notice how the hips gently loosen. Notice how each breath helps you relax and unwind. Notice the gentle curvature of the upper back. Maybe rock your forehead side to side, massaging out that spot between the eyebrows and letting go of any tension that you might be holding there. And then you can walk your hands over to the right side of the mat, getting a nice long stretch. Maybe even taking the left hand on top of the back of the right hand for a little extra pull. And if you're taking this variation, again, make sure that your hips are level, that they're square, and that as you do this, you're not twerking up on that left side of the hip or caving down to the right side. Making sure that the left shoulder stays anchored close to the floor. Beginning to walk yourself through center and all the way over to the left side. Again, maybe taking that right hand on top of the back of the left hand. You drop down. Anchoring down the right hip and the right shoulder. Coming back through center. Whenever you're ready, rolling up onto all fours and going into your cat-cows. When you inhale, dropping your belly and lifting your heart. When you exhale, rounding the back, finding space between the shoulder blades and tucking the tail going under. Inhale, lifting the heart. Focus here not so much on compressing that low back. Remember we talked about letting that back bend come from the upper spine. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the heart. Exhale, round. And now do this to a count of 4. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4. Exhale 8. Then inhale back to a neutral table. Kind of shift side to side, front and back. And just notice where the hands are. Notice the sensation of the pads of the fingers against the mat. And use that sensation to draw stability up through the arms, up into the shoulders. So you roll the elbows in so that the elbows face forward. Good. And then maintaining that strength in the arms. Kind of draw your core in and up. Tuck the tailbone, find length through the low back. Engage the legs and the hips by feeling this sensation of the muscles wrapping around the leg bones. Feel anchored through the tops of the feet and through the toes. Good. And then with everything active so that the only thing moving is your arm, on an inhale, you're going to sweep the right arm up. And then with your exhale, slide it underneath the left arm for a threaded needle. Drop the right ear down. And if this feels good, you want to explore a little more. Maybe walk the left fingertips forward to the front of the room. Another variation here, if you want a little bit more, is to wrap that left arm around the low back. Maybe grabbing the inside of the right leg. But again, make sure that your hips are level and you're not swaying out to one side. You want to protect the low back, you want to protect the pelvis. 3 big breaths. Last breath. And gently unwind, planting the left hand by the left shoulder and pushing back into your tabletop pose. You can take a cat-cow or two to kind of reset the spine. And then same thing. Find that activation in that core center so that your whole body is engaged and stable. And whenever you've found that, making sure your body stays still as you inhale, sweep the left arm open. And exhale, slide it underneath the right arm. Again, going through those variations, you can walk your fingertips forward with the right hand, or maybe again wrapping that hand around behind the low back. Checking in with your hips, checking in with the low back. Slowly unwinding, unraveling the right arm. And pushing back into your tabletop pose. And then we're going to go through a child's cat-cow down dog flow. So what it's going to look like is from this tabletop, as you inhale, lift the heart. And as you exhale, kind of sink back into a little bit of a child's pose here. Inhale, pulling back up to all fours. And then exhale to touch the toes, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Inhale as you drop the knees. Long spine. Exhale, sink back, child. Inhale, pull up to all fours. Maybe a gentle heart opener. Exhale, downward dog. 2 breaths this time. And then next breath in, dropping the knees. Exhale back. Inhale all fours. Downward dog. 3 breaths. It's okay if your heels don't come to the floor. Inhaling the knees down, neutral spine. Draw the hips back with your exhale. Inhale all fours. Downward facing. Find stillness for 4 breaths. Notice tension kind of rolling off of the back down towards the floor. Settling in. Allowing the backs of the legs to open. And slowly walk the legs out, bending one knee and straightening the opposite leg. If you have a little snap, crackle, pop, that's okay. My knee just popped. And see if as you move through these motions, you can make it super controlled and mindful and active. You're actually feeling the muscles work every time you move the legs. And coming back to stillness. And slowly walking the legs all the way up to your hands. You can interlace your low back. You draw the knuckles first away from you, lifting the heart, soft bend in the knees, draw the shoulder blades together. As you exhale, keep the hands intertwined as you bend forward. Maybe you need more space for the belly. Drop the crown of the head down. And again, draw the knuckles straight out, back behind you as you lift through the torso. Spine parallel to the floor. Exhale, forward fold. Drop the hands down. Take a halfway lift, fingertips either on the floor or on your shins, never dangling midair. Exhale, fold. And as you inhale, drop the hips, lift the arms overhead, maybe to heart center. Just go with wherever you're at. Next breath in, push through the heels to rise all the way up. Good, so we'll go through our salutations. So as you inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back. I'm going to add a crescent lunge in these today. So inhale slowly to rise up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Back heel is lifted. Rise all the way up. Stay on the breath out. One more inhale as you reach high. Exhale, plant the hands, forward fold. Halfway lift, long spine. Melt forward. Inhale, drop the hips, rise with the hands. Stay on the breath out. Push through the heels to rise all the way up. Hands down to the sides. Good. Inhale, the arms rise high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Press the left foot back. Keep the heel lifted, strong to the right foot as you rise up. Stay on the breath out. One more inhale. Exhale the hands down, downward facing dog. And breath in. Breath out. With control, left foot comes forward. Stay high on the right toes as you rise up, crescent lunge. Stay on the breath. Maybe use your inhale to find more length as you exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, mount. Inhale, chair. Exhale. Inhale to rise. One more time through both sides. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Press the right foot back. Keep the heel lifted. Use control as you rise all the way up. And breathe out. Powerful breath in. Lift the heart. Plant the hands. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Maybe open your mouth, exhale. And step the right foot forward. Big breath in. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Drop to your chair. Breath out. Drop the shoulders down. And rise all the way up. Strong, active legs. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Press the left heel back. Inhale to rise strong. Exhale. Inhale, open through the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Next breath in, left foot comes forward. Inhale to rise all the way up. One more breath. Forward fold. Inhale, chair. Stay on the breath out. And rise all the way up. Good. And bring the arms down. Shake it out. And release the hands behind the low back. Draw the knuckles down away. Draw the shoulder blades together. And instead of compressing this lumbar spine here, as we do this, I want you to imagine rolling your tailbone under. So hands are interlaced, knuckles drawing towards the floor. Tailbone's actually rolling under, not out. And then you'll feel a little more back bend coming through this region right here, the thoracic spine. Actively pull the shoulder blades down the back. Keep a soft bend in the knees. Release the hands, slowly sweep the arms all the way up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Take a halfway lift. Then plant the hands, step the feet back, find a plank. You can drop your knees to get set up here. What you're going to do is you're going to come down to your forearms. So I want your forearms out. Your elbows are shoulder width apart, and then your hands are a natural extension of your elbows. Good. So once your forearms are kind of glued to the floor, fingers are spread wide, palms anchored down, you're going to tuck the toes, push back into a dolphin pose. So the important thing here is that you're not too high like this, because then you're going to start rounding the back. You want to be able to pivot from your hips. So comfortable distance, drawing the shoulders all the way down the back, away from the ears. If it's too much, you can also come here, or you can come into a dolphin plank, where you can keep the dolphin plank and drop the knees down. So there's a couple variations for you to try out. Wherever you are, spend 3 breaths. Breath. And then wherever you are, see if you can try to come to this dolphin pose. I'll meet you there. We're going to do 3 dolphin pose to dolphin planks. If you'd rather go back to a child's and take a quick break, go to a child's. So what you're going to do is you're going to walk your feet back. Make sure the elbows stay glued to the floor. Make sure that the shoulder blades stay glued down the back. Walk back up to your dolphin. That was 1. 2 more times. With control, walk the feet back, plank pose. And then walk back up, dolphin. And you're not walking your feet all the way up, just about 2-3 inches. And 1 more time, walking the feet back. Backs of your shoulders should really be feeling this. And walking up. Good. And then And drop the knees, take the knees wide. Sink back into your child's pose. Maybe even take the hands back by the heels and let the shoulders kind of roll forward. Just kind of let go of all the work you just did. Bringing the hands back forward, coming up onto all fours, pushing back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Take your halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Rise all the way up. And take your hands to your heart center. Good. And then your left foot's going to stay right at the top of your mat. And we're going to step the right foot back for a warrior one. So your back foot's actually at a 45-degree angle, and your feet are about hip width apart. If you have a really hard time getting your hips square to the front in this pose, and you're feeling like you're compressing the SI joint, either on this right side or this left side, then what I want you to do is pivot on to your toes on the right foot, and that'll give you a little more freedom to move the hips square to the front. So you're either going to be, like I said, in warrior one, or you're going to pivot into your crescent. I'm going to be in warrior one. From here, sweep the arms up, draw the shoulders down the back, and then take the entire upper body and just kind of hinge forward about 5–10 degrees. That'll give you more space through this lumbar spine. And so from here, we're going to do dynamic warrior with some cactus arms. So as you inhale, lengthen the front leg, reach the arms high. And as you exhale, bend into the front knee as you bring the elbows down towards the torso. So cactus arms, or goalpost arms for Thanksgiving football. Inhale, straighten the front legs, reach high with the arms. Exhale, bend into the knee, draw the elbows down. So 3 more times to your own breath. Inhaling and finding length. And exhaling, reaching down. 2 more. So from here, stay bent in the left knee as you bring the arms behind your back, interlace the fingers, draw the knuckles down towards the right heels as you roll the shoulder blades down and back. And it's helpful to be near a wall here or a chair or something where if you start to lose your balance, you can catch yourself really fast. We're going to move into a warrior 3. So one of the best ways to do this, especially if you're a little, feeling a little bit wobbly today, is you can actually kickstand yourself. So you hop your back foot up, and then whenever you're ready, you can lift that back leg up again. If you need to have a chair or wall nearby, please do so. So same rule applies as all the other back bends. Make sure that your hips are level so that you're not lifting your right hip higher and caving down into your left hip. So you're really going to have to work through your legs, work through the hips and the glutes. Too much to have your hands interlaced behind. Maybe try taking them at heart center. And if you want even a little bit more, you can reach your arms all the way out. For 2 more breaths. And with control, we're going to find a tree pose. So I'm going to turn towards you. A couple variations for your tree pose is you can have your toes either tapping onto the floor. You can have it on the inside of the shin. Or come all the way up into the inside of the thigh, never pressing into the knee joint. soft bend in the left knee. It's easy to kind of walk that knee out because we think it's going to give us more stability. And then with control, melting the right foot down. Inhale the arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale through chair. Stay on the breath out. And rise all the way up. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Take the left leg back. Find either your warrior one or your crescent pose. Check in with where you're at. Check in with where your hips are, where your low back is, your SI joint. Notice which variation is more comfortable for you. And once you've found it, go ahead and settle in. Lifting the arms up. Inhale to straighten the front leg. And exhale to bend into the knees. You sweep the elbows down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Last one. And from here, interlacing the hands behind the low back. Starting to pivot forward from the hips as you kickstand your way up. And then lift the left leg up high, dropping the left hip, lifting the right hip. Just playing with the different arm variations, finding something that feels free but still a challenge for you. Slowly bringing yourself into your tree pose. So maybe you're here, maybe you're on the inside of the shin, or maybe you want to bring that leg all the way up inside the thigh. Hands to heart center. Remembering to breathe. And dropping the foot down. Inhale the arms all the way up. And take a nice long melt, forward fold all the way down. Maybe grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Just kind of pull yourself into a gentle halfway lift. And then pull yourself down, drop the head, drop the neck. And begin to make your way all the way down onto the floor. So we're going to go into a cow face pose here. It's great for those outer hip muscles, the piriformis muscles. Now there's a couple of ways to do it. One of them is if you already have great mobility, let's start with the right leg on top, left leg on bottom. So it'll look just like this. Your knees are stacked, your hips are level. If you need a little extra lift, a little extra help in that hip region, you can do this on a block. Let's put the block behind you, you'll sit on the block. And that'll lift those hips a little more so that you have a little more freedom and wiggle room to get your knees stacked and your hips level. Now, the second part of this is going to be the heart opener part. So what we're going to do is your left arm's going to go up, elbow's going to bend, right arm comes behind the back, and try to find your fingers. If, again, you need a little extra help, a little extra TLC, you can take a strap in your left hand, take it behind the back, and then grab hold of the strap if you can't reach for your fingers. So try those variations. The important thing is that your spine is tall and you're not kind of pushing your heart forward to reach whatever level you're going for, but draw the heart back, draw the low back up. Make sure that you're breathing. Just try to release whatever tension you notice in this pose. And be here for a few more breaths. And gently unwind the arms. And shake them out. And then we'll switch sides. So you'll take the right leg on bottom, left leg on top. If you did it reverse the other time, don't worry about it. I'm still stretching both sides. So knees are stacked, hips are level. Sweep the right arm up by the ear, bend the elbows, the hands trace down the back. And the left arm comes behind the back and fingers reach up as you grab hold. Again, if you need to have a strap, it's always an option. Nice tall spine, allowing the crown of the head to be a natural extension all the way up. Maybe notice where you might feel any compression throughout the spine and see if you can lengthen up and out of that area. Two more breaths. And gently release the arms. Again, kind of shake them out. Blood flow moving again. And we're going to do one more big pose before we start to kind of wind it down. And we're going to move into a camel, but you're going to do it on blocks to help protect that low back. So you're going to come up onto your knees, and then you're going to take your blocks back by your feet on the tall side. And from here, make sure that your hips are pressing forward. So it's like your hips are pressing against an imaginary wall right in front of you. We never want to do this type of motion, caving back. We want to make sure that we're kind of anchoring forward. So the hands are going to come down to the blocks. You can take one hand at a time. And the neck is just going to be a natural extension of the spine. So again, press the hips forward, anchor the hands into the blocks, and use that as leverage to kind of push the heart up. Now it's personal preference. If you want to keep the neck neutral, you can. If you want to drop back, it's another option. Just going to be here for 5 breaths. Last breath. Then you can take your hands to your hips as you slowly rise up. Drop the hips down between the heels, or maybe onto the heels. And then move into your child's pose. Take the knees wide, melt the heart down. Just like we started, walk the hands over to the right. Walk the hands over to the left. And coming back to center. And pushing back up, resting on your heels. We're going to do some pelvic floor work. So we'll do a couple rounds of normal pelvic floor, and then we're going to do a long, drawn-out one. It's kind of like an elevator stair-step pelvic floor. So for the first few, as you inhale, notice everything relax. And when you exhale, draw the pelvic floor up. Go ahead and contract. Hold for just a second. And release. Exhale, draw the pelvic floor up. Inhale, release. And exhale again, draw it up. Inhale, release. And this time we're going to draw it up and hold for 5 breaths. So exhale, draw the pelvic floor up. Hold it for your breath in. Maybe draw it up a little more with this next exhale. Hold it for the breath in. And again, encourage yourself to draw it up even more as you exhale. Hold it there with your inhale. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale, hold. Last exhale. And inhale, release. We'll do that one more time. Take another cleansing breath in really fast. And then as you exhale, draw the pelvic floor up. Keep it there with your inhale. Exhale again, draw it up. Inhale. 3 more. And inhale to release. Good. We'll go ahead and get set up for final relaxation. So just like we did last time, I'm going to go ahead and have your blocks handy. And you'll take this rectangular bolster. Just kind of prop it up. Yeah, let's do this. And then you can have a rolled up blanket or a pillow or something underneath your knees. And scoot yourself back. You can take the soles of your feet a little bit together as you drop your knees out wide. And rest your hands on your belly or just down at your sides. If you really want to kind of seal in the hard opening element of this practice, go ahead and take your arms out to your side. And as as always, I encourage you to rest here for as long as you need. 10 minutes would be kind of a nice little present to seal off your practice today and give yourself some time to dive into yourself and the gratitude for all that you have. Thank you guys